Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, I'd like to talk about my favorite approaches to problem solving or critical thinking. So the first one is called, it's called The Six Thinking Hats by an author named Edward de Bono. The Six Thinking Hats is basically, imagine real hats. You're wearing a hat, and each hat, when you wear that hat, you switch your mind state, your frame of mind. So the first hat, let's use the black hat. The black hat is the devil's advocate. So an analogy would be, imagine in your barkada, you have someone in your barkada who's always the pessimist, always the one who's fearful. Or in millennial terms, you're the nega person. It's like, ay, delikado yan kung baka ganyan, or it's always natatakot. So that's the black hat, or the devil's advocate hat. The opposite of that is the yellow hat, the sunny hat, the hat of optimism. So again, using the barkada analogy, that would be someone in your barkada who's always looking at the bright side. And then the third hat, my favorite hat, and what my wife likes to tease me is the white hat, or the robot hat. Like, I have no feelings, it's all logic. So yes, the white hat is all about just the facts. I don't care about the emotional impact, it's just the facts. Now, in contrast, the next hat would be the red hat, which is all about the feelings, and I don't care about your facts. So I don't care if that's the best solution in the world. This is how it makes me feel. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't care if that's the best priced product. I don't care if your dish was made by the champion award-winning chef. It makes me feel like this. That's the red hat. And then another favorite of mine is the green hat. The green hat is the hat of creativity. So you wear that hat when you are looking for solutions to a problem, or a creative solution to a problem. So more on that later. The next hat is the blue hat. The blue hat is the process hat. A fancy description of it would be metacognition, which is another way of saying thinking about the process, or thinking about thinking. So just having an awareness of which hat you're using, that's what the blue hat does. So that means if you are alone and you're trying to solve a problem, you should always remember to use the blue hat so that you know which hat you're using. If you're in a team and you're using the six thinking hats, it's much easier because you can just be the blue hat the entire time, in that sense that you are processing and assigning which hat the team is using now. So everyone, we're using the black hat first. Okay, everyone, white hat now. Next, we're switching to the yellow hat. So you guys are going through it together, and the moderator is wearing the blue hat. Anyway, that's it for the six thinking hats. Please check out the YouTube animation videos on that. There's a lot of good information there. The next thing I'd like to share when it comes to problem solving and thinking is the concept of black or white versus gray level thinking. So black or white is the easiest, and I'd say the lowest level of decision making, because it's just true or false, yes or no, good or bad. It's ones or zeros, it's binary. So you are basically looking at what are the company policies and what is the situation. What does the company policy say here? Can you do this? Yes or no? Okay, and this is the situation. So yes, okay, that's a go. No, okay, cannot be. That's the most basic. That's black or white. That's the entry-level thinking. The highest form, in which I expect if you are in XCOM or in management, is the gray level thinking, where you are analyzing and looking comprehensively at the situation, where the decisions are not easy and do not have a clear outcome in the sense of a win-win. So it's not as easy as saying, yep, if we do this, we win. It's usually, if we do this, yeah, we kind of win, but this is the cost. Or if we do this version, we'll win, but maybe later on. So it's that kind of situation usually with a gray level thinking. And that's where we want to be, because that means we're solving problems that are much bigger, more difficult, and that means our competition probably and most likely has those same problems. So the more experienced we are, the better we are at gray level thinking, the more problems we're probably solving, and therefore the better the products and services that we're probably producing. And the last filter I like to use for decision making and critical thinking, I call it anchoring. What is anchoring? Anchoring is always going back to the objective. What is the objective? So for our group, for the AKG group, my anchor is always guest delight. Now, I chose the word delight deliberately instead of saying guest satisfaction. A common term in business is guest satisfaction. Guest satisfaction is not enough. Guest satisfaction means that I pay you 1,000 pesos and you give me the equivalent of 1,000 pesos of goods and services. So, quits lang tayo. That's not good enough for us. In our case, our goal is always to anchor towards giving guest delight. And that means that we want to build relationships with the guests in the sense that we build a relationship of trust, even if we're the more expensive brand or we're more expensive than the next guy. They trust our brand that if the quality is fantastic, that the service is excellent. So we always want to exceed expectations, go beyond satisfaction, and that's delight. So yeah, that's my anchor. And every time I'm stuck with a problem, I ask myself, which solution, which option will allow me to delight our guest the most? So that's it, guys. Please feel free to ask me any questions, and I'd love to share more about my ways of approaching and solving problems. Thank you. Mabuhay. Pao.